Sometimes you need to share your work with people who aren't on your network. Maybe they work for different companies, or you want to share documents with the general public. Other times, you might want to make documents available for download only to people who have a password that you give them, or you might want to store documents online just for yourself to use, kind of like having a virtual USB memory stick. Well, Microsoft makes these features available for free, so let's take a look. We're going to go to their SkyDrive website. So I'm going to go up here and go to SkyDrive. And also a little tip here for you. When you want to go to a regular .com, you can just type the thing in the middle and press Control-Enter, and it fills in the www and all that. This is a free service, so the first time you're using it, if you haven't signed up already, you can click that Sign Up. I've already created an account, so I'm going to sign in. So I've logged in and I have my 4 default folders, my documents, public favorites, and shared favorites. Now you see public has a little globe on there, so that means that anyone who stumbles onto my SkyDrive site will have full access to anything that's in there. Now my documents has a lock, so that's accessible only to people who have the password. Also, don't confuse my documents here with my documents on your computer. Microsoft has just given the same name to 2 different things. Well, let's say I want to share an inventory list of my Olive products with vendors or, again, anyone who has the password. So I want to create a folder for it. Now, even though my documents is password protected, let's say I have other stuff in there. I don't want to get it cluttered up. So I'm going to create a new folder. So I'll go up here. I'll create a folder, and I'll call this 2 trees. And I'm going to share it just with me, so that'll keep it locked. Click Next. If I had any files that I wanted to upload immediately, I could do that using these browse buttons here, but I don't have anything right now, so I'm just going to click on the 2 trees link here. So now this shows me the folder, and it's empty, obviously, because I just created the folder. Now that we have this set up, let's go into Excel, and in Excel we can save files into this folder in our SkyDrive account. If you still have the workbook open from the last exercise, that's fine. I have open here 0203 skydrive.xlsx. I'm going to go into Backstage View, so I'll click the File tab. And let's go down here to Save and Send. And in this panel, let's choose Save to Web. Now, you may have other things in there. I'm going to hit this Refresh button. And there it finds that 2 trees. Now you might be wondering, well, wait a minute, how on earth does Excel know that I just created this? Well, we'll come to that in a moment. So first, let's just click that and save as, or we could double click it either way. Here, this is looking at the 2 trees folder. Again, it's empty because we haven't put anything in there yet. So here's where you can tell Excel where your folder is. If this is the first time you're doing it, what you want to do is go back into the browser and select the URL from the address bar. Copy it. I'll just press Control-C, come back in here. Then you can simply click in there, paste it in, and then save, and it'll be there. So that's how you can get Excel to find it for the very first time. Once you've done that, you don't have to do that again. So I'm going to keep the same file name. I'll click Save. And you see down here it says Uploading to the server. And now it's saved. So up here you can see the file name hasn't changed. Now let's go back into the browser. And by the way, you could use Internet Explorer or Firefox. Works well with both of them. Now you say, well, wait a minute, there's nothing here. Well, we have to refresh. So you could either click the refresh button or press the F5 key on your keyboard. And there it is. So there's the file that we just saved. So now we know, there's no smoke and mirrors, that the file that we saved in Excel is indeed up in the cloud. So let's go do something with it. So I'm going to click the icon here. And you see we have a few options, and here's a web address. So if I wanted to share this file with someone who has my ID and password, I could simply copy this web address and email them the link. Well, right now let's click this big icon. And there it is. There's the file that we just had. Now, right now you can't edit it. You can click around, you can scroll up and down, but there's really no editing. So if all you need to do is view it, well, that's great. But maybe you want to edit this in the browser. So click up here, Edit in Browser. Now, we get this error message that says this workbook is locked. Let me OK it. Well, here's what's happening is we still have it open in Excel. So you need to remember to close the workbook in Excel first before opening it up on the web. So I'm going to do, I'll just press Control F4 to close it. Now let me go back here into the browser, and I'm going to refresh. There it is. Now it's still just view only. Now I'll click Edit in Browser. And here it is. Now it's open for editing, and now you see a ribbon bar that looks kind of like what you have in Excel. And you see up here, this tells you it's the Microsoft Excel web app. And at the end of this course, I'm going to go back into the Excel web app in a little bit more detail. But for now, just want to show you a few things. So let's say if I decide that I want to change some numbers, I can go and do that. If I want to change some of the formatting, I can do that as well. I could also go and add things. I'm going to go down here. Let's say I want to add the total of column B. Well, you might notice that this ribbon bar doesn't have an AutoSum tool. So you have to know some functions. I'm going to use the sum function. So I'll just say equals sum, open up the parenthesis, and I want to get the sum of, now this is B5 through, scroll down, through B27, enter it. And there it gives me the total. I'll just type the word total. Also, you notice there was no autofill, so I would have to go and manually copy that, go down here, double click and paste, but instead of column B, I want column C. So you can do some calculations if you know what they are without having to use the tools. Now let's say I'm done editing the file on the web. And you might wonder, well, okay, wait a minute. If I have Excel, why on earth would I want to go in here that has a nice ribbon bar, but it's only a little bit of the ribbon that they have in Excel? Why would I want to edit it here as opposed to Excel? And the reason is, let's say you might be on the road. Maybe you're at your client's office and you want to do some quick edits. Maybe you don't have your laptop with you and you want to be able to do a quick edit. So you could come in here and do some quick edits, and then when you get back to your office, then you can go and download it and use it. So the Excel web app is great, but it's not really a full substitute for the entire Excel package. But if you want to save this to go and use it, well, you notice, hey, there's no save button. And if you go to the File tab, you notice there's a Save As. If I want to save it under a new name, it even tells you, hey, where's the Save button? The reason there isn't a Save button is this is saving for you automatically. Every time you make a change and enter, it saves it. So what I want to do is I want to open this up in Excel. So I'll click this, open it in Excel, and it's giving me a warning. Click OK. And now it's going to take that file from SkyDrive and download it, open it here. Boom, and there it is. So now let's say, oh, maybe I want to put my AutoSum tool here, and I'll just put that in. Now, I have to enable editing because this came from the web. So we'll have to click up here. And it's perfectly fine. Now, of course, it's adding the wrong thing, but that's okay. I can just add the correct stuff. Press Control-Enter, and there it is. So I could edit it here as well as I can edit it up on the web. Also, notice the file name has changed a little bit to be web compatible. I'm going to save it. You see it's uploading to server. Close it. I'll press Control F4. Now let me go back here into SkyDrive. And now I'll click the file. Go back in. And there you see is the total that I added in Excel. So you can round trip this pretty easily. So I'm going to go back into the Two Trees folder. There's my file. So now at any time I could come back in here later and edit it. So SkyDrive is a really great feature. It's not a full substitute for Excel, but it's really nice being able to put your work up in the cloud so that you can retrieve it whenever you want.